metropolitan city in Karnataka. It is home for the most tech firms in India. The IT industry views Bangalore as the bite basket of India. It has got several names as the Garden City and Silicon Valley. The city and its surrounding area has plenty of scenic destinations that can be explored on the weekends. It is famous for the Cubbon Park, Lal Bagh, the Botanical Garden, and Bangalore Palace, the historical place, as well as its Brigade Road, and as the technology and startup hub. The city has got the highest number of engineers in India. The population of Bangalore, as per 2019, and in terms of estimates, is 12,951,200. Among the 19 metropolitan cities in the country, Bengaluru figures in the top 3 position for 4 crimes: murder, crimes against women, crimes against children, and theft. The statistics of crimes in India 2017, released by the National Crime Records Bureau (NCRB), after a delay of more than a year, revealed that Bengaluru's crime graph is on an upswing compared to the last 2 years. In murder cases, Bengaluru topped the charts, next only to Delhi, with as many as 235 people were murdered in the city in 2017, while Delhi recorded 400 killings and Mumbai 183. While 188 people were murdered in Bengaluru in 2015, the numbers shot up to 229 in 2016. The city's murder cases make up 11.9% of total 1,976 murders committed in 19 cities. The city figured at 3rd position in crimes against women and crimes against children after Delhi and Mumbai, with as many as 3,565 cases of crimes against women were registered in Bangalore in 2017, as against 3,109 registered in 2015 and 3,412 cases in 2016. So with regards to the previous information, we are now headed to ActionAid India to meet the programs officer Mrs. Malar Vijay in order to get her perspective and point of view on this particular issue.
As a woman, I don't feel safe if I have to share my experience, even to go from my office to the metro station, which is just 2 minutes walk from here. You don't have a light up street where I can walk without fear. As a woman, I always have to be cautious while walking on the road. First of all, the policy makers and the authorities who are the bearers of responsibility of citizens need to be most gender sensitive in this country. They are insensitive today. If you can hear to the phrases from the ministers and MLAs, the people's representatives who have been voted by the people and come to the power, they themselves speak in non-sensitive towards gender and other sexual minorities. So it is important for them to be first gender sensitive. Then the second part would be our priority is to make the city gender sensitive and accessible to mostly to the women and children. When we are working in slums, we see many issues where girl children are being abducted, and when we go to the police stations, the cases are not being filed, and we have to make a lot of struggle in filing these cases. So these all should be the authorities there need to be sensitized, and then the citizens need to be sensitized. This has to percolate to everyone in the city. Unless otherwise we do this effort, technology cannot be, we have CCTV cameras everywhere, but will that be a solution? I don't think so. Right. Technology cannot be a solution to everything. We have to be more gender sensitized, whether it is people or people's representatives or the authorities who are responsible for the laws to be implemented. As ActionAid is very much interested in working with marginalized communities, especially the unorganized sector workers and women and children. We have been putting our efforts in sensitizing the women and children in slums, and also in some cases where we have given them self-defense classes, but definitely that is not a solution. It is a small way of, there are many NGOs who are doing this also, But this cannot be a solution. Even the government giving self-defense classes in schools cannot be a solution. Unless otherwise the gender sensitization is happening to the male counterpart in the city. So the male counterpart need to be sensitized properly so that they are more gender sensitive and they know that what is wrong they are doing with the other. Same kind of dignity and the kind of treatment what we have for the male, and that should be applicable for the female also. So this has to come from within of every citizen of this city. We can bring in laws.
Right.
Unless otherwise it is implemented properly with a proper political will, this will not happen in the ground. So, as I said earlier, sensitization should happen from top to bottom. That would be the solution, and especially for the unorganized sector workers who are working in a different kind of environment. They don't have a privileged environment. It is not available. Public transport are affordable, have to be affordable first of all, and then it should be frequent and it should reach to every nook and corner of the city.
Right.
Unless otherwise this is there, how do you expect women to come out and use these spaces without any fear? So these are the steps need to be taken by the state. This cannot be done by anyone else in the city. So they have the authority, they have the responsibility, they are accountable to the people also. So it has to come from the state. These are small examples which I gave. There are many other people who are working, like nurses will be traveling to hospitals in the night. They would not be able to afford a safe cab, or say even cabs are how much safe we can see in these days. So as a contribution from our side, ActionAid is training women drivers to drive commercial taxis. So we are putting our efforts in training women in slums to drive these taxis to become taxi drivers. We are training them with all kinds of equipping them with all kinds of increasing their confidence and self-defense classes and leadership qualities. All these we are providing and then putting them into the driver's seat. So women in the driver's seat are leading that. So they are, I feel like they are contributing to the safe cities in a way. So this is in a smaller way. Our contribution is in a smaller way. But the government has to think through this safe city, providing safe cities to all citizens, especially for women and children, and think of different ways like transport, whatever the common spaces. How do parks and other common spaces be available for women and children to be used? All from all categories. This I'm not talking only for the privileged people. But for all category of people, how do they access these common spaces without any inequality?
Right.
So this needs to be think through holistically, and government has to come out with the proper solutions. There are many bonded laborers who have been bonded in Brooklyn or in Coffee Estate.
Right.
They have fought against this, struggled against this. And there has been many violations against them, human rights violations against them, especially women are being treated very badly. On which there has been experiences of women being taken the leadership role and brought out these issues out, and they have taken the step forward to address these issues.
Right.
So I would say light up the city, make it accessible to all women and children safely, and protect the women and children with safe cities.
So that was the comments from Mrs. Malavici, the Programs Officer of ActionAid India. According to her, we have found out that what are the troubles the women face in Bangalore, as well as what can be done by the government or the people, the general people, in order to help them feel secure with living their lives as freely as possible. So now we are going to interview students and teachers of our college and ask them these same questions and find out whether they feel safe, and what can be done in order to ensure that safety.
How do I define safety and security? Okay, I am safe and secure only when I have the liberty to live as a free citizen. So, if I have to define security, I should feel free to go wherever I want at whatever time.
I would say safety is that you don't feel uncomfortable.
Safety and security would probably mean feeling safe, and that could mean your person or your property as well.
Safety and security, in my opinion, in our country, we should be able to walk freely without having the fear of from any strangers or any other human being.
Do you believe that you or the people in your immediate vicinity are safe from their surroundings or from the various things which are happening around Bangalore and India right now?
In Bangalore city? Yeah, definitely.
As of now, I feel that people are quite safe, but going by the current trends of our country and looking at the communal riots that have taken place recently, I think there is a sense of fear that has crept in the minds of the citizens today.
I cannot objectively answer this question. Sometimes we do feel safe, sometimes we do feel unsafe. Sometimes we really feel unsafe because there is this fear that strikes our mind when we, watch disturbing visuals on media, or, when we read something that's constantly pushing or imposing a certain kind of an act.
Workplace and college, yes, I would feel safe because people are around and we don't feel, it is not isolated place. It is an environment where people are there, people are present. So I'm safe in college and workplace, yes.
So with regards to the people who don't feel safe or secure, what can the police, the government or the policy makers do in order to ensure that the people who have this fear know that they're safe?
Institutions or even the government or even the police are doing lots. Okay, just around in my area, I can find the police patrolling post 6:30 p.m. in the evenings, and I kind of feel this is very safe. Or this is kind of showing the fact that they do have concern for their own residents and localites in the city. Like say for example, once there was a situation where we were a bit panic stricken in our area because we felt that there were a team of thieves constantly entering houses or barging into residents, and probably something like that. There was some fear that was stricken around in the area. And then we constantly found, on a regular basis, we found the police patrolling in our residential area. So we felt that, there was some care that was taken, and we could constantly go and consult them, and, they would always see that we are safe. The police are not here only to protect us. Sometimes the police are here to solve all kinds of issues, or even these small disputes that are created in the neighborhood. Right, so that is also one of the important responsibilities that they are carrying out. Besides that, there are different apps these days, okay, and these apps are actually helping mostly, women and children to get across to any nearby police station in order to ensure their security and safety.
First of all, the people of the country should have trust in the government that there will be law and order. Okay, so when you have a constitution, when you have your rules and regulations, take for example for your traffic or for your criminal, if there is any crime committed, you need to have proper systems where action is being taken by and we should not allow people to take law into their hands. And I feel that most often than not, of late, we find that people are taking law into their hands, and that's where the fear has come in.
I would say they have to, they have to be available. You never know. We might have to go for late night works. Suppose we are working in a corporate place, we have to go for late night shifts. So we need security for sure. So I think government, there should be 24/7 police security. They can rotate their shifts and all, okay fine. And guard should be there with whom we can trust. And then I would say they have to keep some arrangement for helplines where we can immediately call and immediately they send the security and clear the west.
Do you have any closing statements you want to leave us with with regards to safety and security?
Now today it's always, we are going by lots of news which are fake and which are real. So it's, for an individual also, it has become difficult to discern which is true and which is false.
I would say if we are, it's not, even if we are in an environment where people are present also, we can't ensure that it is safe. You never know, they might body shame you, harass you, purposefully. So I would say they have to educate them rightly, and it all depends on perspective. It's all each other's perspective, right? So you have to take them positively, respect each other's individuality, rather than body shaming them or just eve teasing. And even if you are in an isolated place, we have to have the confidence that the government should take measures where we have confidence to walk or be in an isolated place. So I would say that.
I think that depending on who you are and your cultural background and your relationship with the city, your idea of safety would greatly vary.
We as individuals, we should learn to be responsible for our own city. When we have been instructed to do certain things in certain ways, we should see that we obey these rules. Alright, it's good for us. Now, say for example, with fear that's constantly created because of the coronavirus, we know that we have to take some precautionary methods, right? So let us just abide by what the government has to tell us and everything will be fine. That's it. Thank you.
So after determining what the students and the teachers of our college think of as safety and security, as well as asking them on their perspectives of whether they feel safe or secure, as well as asking them on what can be done by the police, policymakers, and the government in order to ensure that safety to the people who don't feel safe or secure. We have also set up a survey online which would help us determine on the safety and security of various people of different genders, sexual identities, minorities, and religious identities. We will conclude that these are our findings, and after analyzing all of that, we have determined that although measures are being taken in order to provide security and safety, it is clearly not enough in order to dispel the fear of the majority of people.